So today I'm ranking the most popular business models from complete garbage to $1 million potential. I'm ranking them on 4 main criteria: profit potential, startup cost, time to freedom, and how likely you are to actually succeed. I've built and failed at multiple businesses while traveling across 60 countries over the last decade. I currently have a cleaning franchise that does well over $100,000 per month in revenue and helped dozens, if not hundreds of other people do the exact same thing in their own location. So all the rankings I have and all the thoughts I have are based off of real experience and what I've actually encountered. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly which business models you should just leave on the side or throw in the trash and which ones actually have the ability to make you over $10,000 per month in profit. Let's go. Let's start off with an A-tier business model, which is software. Now, I love software businesses. There are so many fantastic things with owning a software business. First of all, the margins can be insane. 70 to 90% at scale, at least, is what I've seen. And the reason is because you build it once and you can sell it forever. Once you have a product built and you get people onboarded to the software, your costs are largely zero for actually implementing the things that the software provides. Now, obviously it varies depending on what kind of software you create, but largely software businesses have fantastic margins. Here's why it's hard. Most people I've talked to who try to build a software company say it takes probably 10 times the amount of capital you think you're going to need, and it takes 10 times as long as you think you're going to take. So it just takes a long time to build up because there's a lot of technical information to building a software business, not to mention getting people onto the software. You have to have a really, really good product market fit when it comes to having a software company. Now, in the day and age of AI and SEO and all these things we're doing with technology, you could actually have a software business and not even be a technical founder. Like, you don't need to know how to code now. You just need to know the base levels of how to build a software. You could vibe code certain things with AI, but mainly you need to be able to talk smartly to people you hire to help develop your software for you. Now, if you want to get in the software game, understand this is a long-term game. Very rarely are people able to whip up quick softwares, make a bunch of money, and sail off into the sunset. It just doesn't work like that for most people. But if you do crack the code and you're in this for the long run, software businesses are a fantastic place to build actual generational wealth because the profit margins are insane once you actually get it up and running. The next business model is dropshipping, and this one is a fat F tier business model. Dropshipping has changed over the last 20 years. Back in the day, it was like you spin up a website, you have some cool links to it, to like an Amazon store or some other website, and you make money if someone clicks on that blog and goes to the website. Nowadays, I don't know the last time I went to a blog, honestly. So dropshipping now means promoting products on, let's say, TikTok or Instagram or things like that. TikTok Shop is probably the best place where you could see what dropshipping currently is, where people post a video, they'll link to the TikTok Shop, and they get a cut of the commission whenever you do it. The reason I don't like this is not a long-term sustainable model. I think currently there's a cash grab, and some people will make some money doing dropshipping by posting videos, linking to jeans or whatever products are selling on TikTok. However, long term, there's nothing really sustainable that you're building. One algorithm change and everything tanks. The change in tariffs in China, everything changes. A lot of people are linked to the same crappy products from different countries, and it's not that great. This is not a sustainable business model, and oftentimes for the work you're putting in, your margins are anywhere between 5 to 10% at scale. Now, if you're going to work on something already, you might as well build something that's going to be here for the long run. And dropshipping is not it. Next up is local home service businesses, and this is by far A tier in my opinion. Now, keep in mind, I am obviously biased because I have a local business, but let me tell you why I really, really like it, and also some downsides that I think you should think about. A local business are businesses which have typically always been around. It's cleaning or HVAC, which is like heating and AC, could be plumbing, could be gutters, could be painting. Like, these are things people just need. There isn't like a, hey, I need to educate people about this new product I have. Like, no, it already exists. People are already looking for this, and every city has so many people looking for it. The cool part is a lot of local services, it's a repeat need. Let's talk about cleaning, for example. Do you ever say, oh, I cleaned my home once, I'm done for life. It's finally done. No, of course not. Things get dirty all the time and they need repeat business. That's why I love local home service businesses, because number one, it can be done with lower minimum capital. You get started, to be honest, as low as a few $1,000s up to $300,000 if you're going to get equipment and vehicles and all that kind of stuff. And you could scale up your business from there. But you also have a moat of your geography. With e-commerce or being an influencer or something like that, you're competing against the world. With a local business, you're competing against your local market only. And guess what? most of your competitors kind of suck. They don't really know what they're doing. So this is a fantastic model because I think it has longevity. You're not building something where maybe it's going to fall out of fashion in 5 years. You're building it once, and if you do it right, it could pay you dividends forever. And that's why I love the local business model, the local business game. I think it's by far one of the best A-tier models. Now, I actually created a course called the Remote Local Blueprint of how to have a local business, which you could manage remotely. So you could travel the world, go to Mongolia, go to Africa, do all this cool stuff as you want. Check it out in the link below. If you're curious about the course and think it might be a fit for you, check it out. It's called the Remote Local Blueprint. Next up is the real estate business model. Now, real estate is by far, in my opinion, A tier. I love this model. Most people I know who've built generational wealth have typically done this through real estate. Maybe they made their initial business and their cash from something else like some sort of business. Then they moved to real estate, and that's where things really compound. Now, here's the reason it works, and here's what I like and also don't like about it. What I like about it is you get a lot of leverage, meaning you put money in and you could borrow even more money. So the bigger money could be even more, right? Things compound with the bigger money, with the money you take in as debt. It compounds on that, which is fantastic. It could, works both ways. Debt could get you places faster. That could be a good place or a bad place, but it'll get you somewhere faster. If you do it right, it could compound really, really fast. It could grow really fast because of it. Also, typically, appreciation happens quite often, and I wouldn't say every year, but it's something you could generally bank on over a large enough period of time. Having money in real estate helps you take advantage of that. There's a bunch of crazy tax advantages too with depreciation and all this kind of stuff I will get into, but it's a fantastic wealth building avenue. Now, something to consider, a lot of people try to get into real estate and, they go to bigger pockets and they learn about the BRRRR strategy and they're like, oh, cool, I'm going to buy rental properties and scale it from there. Even if you buy a rental property and you make $500 per cash flow per single family unit, it's going to take a lot of rental properties for you to make up all of your income. You're going to need 20 rental properties at $500 per month to make $10K per month in profit. That doesn't take into account taxes or anything like that. It takes a long time to build. So I actually don't think real estate is a fantastic cash flow business now, but it is a business model which will help you make generational wealth later. So something to invest in my opinion, all the time. If you want to get in the real estate business in general, I would say don't just do investing, kind of approach it as a business as well and make this your primary focus. But I love it. Long-term wealth building machine. It's something that's been around for pretty much forever. A tier for sure. The next up is cryptocurrency trading, pumping and dumping, trying to make a quick buck here and there. Isn't the move. In my opinion, this is like a D tier, probably an F tier type of thing you can't do. Now, if you're like Neil, I'm a Bitcoin maxi, I want to invest in it, that's great. That's an investment. That's not a job or active trading you're doing with altcoins. That's a very different model. If you want to create a business out of crypto trading, I think it's very tough. I think you're going to have kind of like a gambler's mentality. People who typically are really, really good at gambling might be really good at crypto trading. In general, I see so many courses popping up with altcoins and people jumping into the crypto sphere. I love crypto. I own it myself, but I don't do it as a business. In my opinion, there's way more sustainable models you can do outside of crypto trading. So in my opinion, D tier, bordering on F tier when it comes to crypto trading. Next up is going to be building a YouTube channel, becoming an influencer. In my opinion, this is a C tier. I think a lot of people get enamored because they see people who become influencers of large channels and they're like, oh my God, this is making so much money with ads or affiliate deals or whatever because he has an audience. I'm going to do that as well. This is confirmation bias because typically the people you are seeing are obviously the people who've been posting for a long time and therefore they're in front of you with the algorithm. Makes sense, right? The hard part with this is you have to invest a lot of time up front and you have to delay gratification for a long time. Now, of course, there's people who post a TikTok and it just pops up, or people who post a YouTube video and it just blows up, and they seem to get really fast, really quickly. That's not always the case for most people. I'd say for most people, you have to churn out content a lot, whatever platform you're in, to actually have massive gains from it. Now, I still think it's a great model if you scale up and build an audience. Not for the normal thing people think of. Most people think, hey, I'm going to build an audience. I'm going to have money coming in from ads from YouTube. Maybe I'll get some affiliate deal and I promote something and I'm going to get sponsorship. Some people make pretty good money doing that. I think the real secret sauce, though, is you build a niche audience and then you sell your own service on the back end. That's where I think this model could go from a C tier to an A tier, where you use it to sell something which is way more valuable than just cash flow up front. In general, though, most people don't have the patience to get to the point where this becomes an asset. For many people, it's going to take years upon years of building your own personal brand on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, whatever, to get to the point where it's really, really meaningful. Now, there's ways of shortcutting that. right? But in general, I'd say for most people, this is a C tier business model. Now, next up is Amazon FBA, and I'm going to lump this in with e-commerce. Amazon FBA, I'd probably consider a D tier at the moment. Now, let me explain what Amazon is, and then I'm going to go to e-commerce next. So Amazon has a program called FBA where you essentially rent space with Uncle Bezos at Amazon and say, hey, I'm going to ship products from China over to this warehouse in Amazon. I'm going to market on Amazon. Anytime someone buys it, Amazon will fulfill it and ship it out to the customer. In theory, this sounds great. You don't have to get a warehouse. You don't have to hold inventory. You just market online, and if it sells, it sells. This was a huge model back in 2020, 2021. The problem is this. You have to front a lot of money to get the product over to Amazon, and only when it sells, the next thing you're doing is fronting that money all over again to buy even more product and then continuously sell it. So most people I know who have this model of selling on Amazon are in a huge cash flow crunch because the timing of payments, they have to pay it for the product up front, they need to then sell it, then there's another 30-day delay before they get cash flow back in. So if you get into this model, it's doable. You're gonna have to be really quick with what products you select. You're gonna have to be really, really good with making pivots around the products to make sure it's still top of mind. And you have to be good with cash flow management. Because of that, I don't love the Amazon FBA business. I would not recommend anyone get into it right now unless you have some sort of branding or competitive edge. The other side of that, which is kind of half related, so I'm lumping it in, is just straight e-commerce. E-commerce means having your own branded product, creating a Shopify store, spinning it up, and start selling products online. Most people get into the e-commerce game, usually sell with meta ads currently. They have some of the same constraints of cash flow I talked about, where that the front, a lot of the product, that the house is somewhere, and then they fulfill it over time. The reason I like e-commerce a little bit better than Amazon, and I'd give this a B rank to maybe a C rank, depending on what model you have, so it's still pretty good, is because you have more optionality. You have your own Shopify store. You're not only married to Amazon. You can probably build your own product and brand. And once you crack the code with, let's say, meta ads, you could scale really, really fast, right? So the whole game is, how do you make this a fantastic funnel? How do you learn meta ads? How do you sell the product? How do you have a product which is an actual brand so you have some kind of moat to? If you crack the code, B tier, in my opinion. If you don't crack the code and you just rely on Amazon, D tier. So understand what you're getting into. Next up is some sort of agency model, whether this is a marketing agency, a content agency, something like that. I should consider this a B tier business model. I really like this. I think for a lot of people who are brand new to the industry, there's ways you could sell your expertise of what you know and start your own business and just sell those services in the form of an agency. An agency is pretty much doing services either as a productized services, which I'll get to, or just services and selling what you're an expertise at to other people. Example with marketing, you might say, hey, I know how to brand really well. I'm going to sell branding services. You're an agency. Eventually you will hire people to do that for you, and you sell that more, and that's how you grow your agency. Productized agencies, I think, are the best avenue. What a productized agency is, it's not custom work. You're doing something like, hey, it's $500 per month, unlimited graphics of whatever you want, and on your back end, you have a pool of people who are constantly doing graphics for people. That's an example of a productized service. I like those types of agencies. Now, I will say I think AI is coming to eat a lot of agencies' lunch. A lot of content agencies are now bust because they just don't have a great differentiated product. So you have to keep in mind what kind of agency you are and build it for something to scale. My recommendation is, if you are a revenue generating agency, it's something which is more tangible and makes companies money, I think that's better. If you could prove that, hey, if you hire me, I make you X amount of money, that's better than saying, hey, I'm an agency which does some boring operations function, which you don't really know if it makes you money or not, right? So if you are going to start an agency, B tier model, it could scale up. You still deal with a lot of people, which isn't always the best thing, but I do think it has legs and it could scale up. Try to go into something revenue generating, in my opinion. Next up is online coaching. I actually think this is a B tier bordering A tier. I really like this model. I feel like everyone and their mom right now is a life coach. There's a famous guy named Jay Shetty who's selling a life coach training course to make you become a life coach, which I think is ridiculous, right? Helping people become life coaches so they can sell their services to other people. That seems kind of scammy. What I mean is selling some sort of service to people to coach them. Now, you might be thinking, Neil, I don't know what to coach people on. That's fine. You could develop expertise around this, or just think about what you're really good at and that you could sell services for. Examples would be, I know someone who got really good at helping insurance agents make more money, right? And she started online coaching She would explain how to do it. She did it herself at her own insurance agency, so she understood what she was doing. And she started making content and videos, and people are like, hey, how do I do this myself? Then she started selling courses, coaching, cohorts, things like that. I think that's a fantastic business model. It's not just information. It's not just selling a course. It's actually adding accountability, more things on the back end to help someone grow. So online coaching, I actually think it's fantastic. If you're the right person, if you're not trying to make a quick buck, if you do it the right way, great business model in my opinion. Lastly, let's talk about freelance or consulting. I think this is a B-tier business model. I know people making hundreds of thousands of dollars doing consulting. Now, consulting would be selling whatever expertise you have as a service to other people. You'd be able to find customers by doing outreach, by your network, by posting content, and having people hire you as a consultant to do specific projects for them. I think this is great if you have some level of expertise. This is your first time into business ownership and you just want to sell services to make money. I think consulting is a fantastic level 1 business for you to get into. The thing is, it doesn't really scale because you're selling yourself. So consulting at some point isn't the best model, but to start with, at 100% it's a B tier model, maybe even A tier if you're just getting going, because you can make a few $100,000 if you want just doing consulting. The thing is, you're trading your time for dollars. That doesn't scale. You're not building yourself a real asset. Nothing's really sellable, but it's a good model to get into just to get the jump and just get going. So solid B tier in my opinion. So that's pretty much it. The ranking from A tier to F tier for a variety of different business models. Now, do you notice what's at the top? It's typically the boring old school business models which have been around for a long time, which help you make generational wealth. The truth is, quick cash is not sustainable generally. You pretty much want to build something where you could build it once and it pays you forever. And that's what this channel is all about, is how do you find a model which is perfect for your lifestyle and helps you build that type of wealth and lifestyle freedom, time freedom, everything you're looking for. That's what picking the right business model can do for you. Now, if you don't want to go about this alone, I have a couple options for you. Number one, check out Made This Franchise. Go to madethisfranchise.com, see if this is a fit for you of how to start your own fully remote local cleaning company in your market using the same blueprints I have done. If that's not a fit for you, check out the Remote Local Blueprint. We'll put a link somewhere below in the description for you to see how to do this yourself as well. Thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe as well.